Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Breaking overnight, a Good Samaritan hit and killed by a driver as he helped an older man push his car off to the side of the road. And within the last 20 minutes, we learned the teen driver is facing charges.
In a few hours, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi will be in San Diego to see how our local center that houses immigrant children compares to others at the center of so much controversy.
A devastating morning for workers at a San Diego County organic farm after one of them drowns in an irrigation pond.
UC San Diego about to get its biggest expansion in campus history. Neighbors, though, are worried about the construction.
Good morning, 6 a.m. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Mary McKenzie in for Virginia Cha. Good to be here with you on this Monday, and I loved the weekend, by the way.
The weekend was a nice little cool situation we had here in San Diego. Things are going to be warming up this week, but we do have another nice day in store for us. There are a few holes in our marine layer this morning as we look towards El Cajon and La Presa, so we actually don't have as thick of a marine layer this morning, so it will be clearing out better and faster today. It is Monday, so here's your Monday motivation. Most of the county in the 70s this afternoon as we look across the county as far as your highs go. 60s in the mountains with 90s in the deserts. And when I come back in just 8 minutes, I'm going to pinpoint how warm it's going to be in your neighborhood. It's been kind of busy on the roads this morning. Kalina, how's it going now?
Yeah, it keeps on changing on me, but if you look outside right now with our Caltrans camera, this is your ride into Coronado, and it is really slowing down. It's been like this for the past hour or so, so give yourself some extra time if you need to head on into Coronado, because it doesn't look like it's getting any better. Overall commute time now at about 16 minutes coming off the 5. Going out to our 10 News Live traffic tracker, you can see the traffic building out of the South Bay right now. That's on the 5 and the 805. 805 slowing down right around the 94 and also through National City. And then on the 5 freeway northbound, looks like it's going to take you about 12 minutes just before the 54 as you head toward the 94. Once you get past that area, you're nice and clear. And speed southbound on the 5 right now, that is down to about 18 miles per hour. Jason?
Well, thank you very much. And breaking overnight, a Good Samaritan hit and killed by a driver as he helped an older man push his car off to the side of the road. That driver was just a teenager who at first ran away.
And now 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live in Escondido, has been following this story since 5:30. You have learned that teen is now facing criminal charges.
Mary, Jason, we're told that he was in fact arrested for driving under the influence overnight. Now, the 17-year-old initially ran away from the scene after apparently causing the crash, but then later returned and turned himself in. It all happened here at the 78 at Broadway. A man was driving a Jeep, man in his 60s with his family. The Jeep broke down here on scene, and that's when Good Samaritans pulled over to try to help, and one of them was hit.
The other guy that he was helping him, unfortunately, he passed away.
And that's the son of the Jeep's driver who is currently in the hospital. This happened around 11 o'clock last night. The Jeep broke down at the light at Broadway where the 78 ends. The family says Good Samaritan stopped to start helping the driver of the Jeep. He was steering the wheel while one man helped push the Jeep from the back. That's when a black Toyota ended up hitting the back of that Jeep and ran over the Good Samaritan. Witnesses rushed over, did CPR, tried to save that man, but sadly he did die at the hospital. The Jeep's driver was also knocked unconscious and also taken to the hospital. Now, the 17-year-old accused of causing the crash again ran away, but later called and turned himself in around 1:30 this morning. He and his parents came back and met with officers before he was taken in. No word yet on just how many charges that teen driver is facing. The identity of the man that was killed has not yet been released. We're live in Escondido this morning. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Thank you, Mimi. New from overnight, a body was found in an irrigation pond at Fairfield Farms. That's in Palma Valley. Preliminary reports say the body was 10 feet underwater. Sheriff's deputies confirm the search and rescue dive team has been called out to recover the body. The cause of the death is still under investigation. Crisis counselors were called after more than a dozen workers gathered to comfort each other. It appears they live on the farm.
Happening today, a congressional tour of the border in San Diego and the child detention centers that have been the center of controversy.
Representative Nancy Pelosi alongside San Diego Representative Juan Vargas are among the dozen or so lawmakers who will be there. And 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo is live in El Cajon for us this morning, where immigrant children are housed. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Yes, what you see behind me is just one of two facilities in San Diego County. We know that Nancy Pelosi is expected at one of them to tour the facility. On Friday, 10 News got their first look inside. 65 children can be housed here at the facility in El Cajon. Pelosi making her visit after a weekend of protests at other detention centers in El Paso and just outside New York City. The representatives attending today's tour are asking the administration to stop separating migrant families from their children. The Department of Homeland Security says at least 2,000 children have been separated so far. President Trump tweeted last night about his zero tolerance policy, saying the Democrats should get with their Republican counterparts to, quote, work something out on border security and safety. In a press conference on Friday, Pelosi called the family separations nothing but political.
There's no policy justification for this. It's all political. The president is throwing red meat to his base when he does that. He's using children, whether they're dreamers or whether they're little children at the border now, for a political purpose. It's shameful.
After touring the facility, Pelosi and the other members of Congress are heading down to the border, where she is expected to speak to the media. Now, coming up at 6:30, I will show you how this policy is grabbing the attention of current and former First Ladies. Reporting live in El Cajon, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
All right, Laura, thank you. Speaking of, First Lady Melania Trump commented on the policy this weekend, saying that she hates to see children separated from their families. Her communications director says that she, quote, believes we need to be a country that follows all laws, but also a country that governs with a heart. Her comments follow those from former First Lady Barbara Bush, who called the policy cruel and immoral. In an op-ed on Sunday, she compared it to the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II.
Police in Chula Vista are looking for any witnesses after a young man's body was found. A woman was driving to work yesterday when she spotted the body near Discovery Park. She got out and called 911 and actually started performing CPR. That's when she had a gruesome realization.
I believe it was one of my students when I was a teacher. I believe it was one of my 7th grade students.
The woman says she later got in touch with the family of the student, who confirmed it was their son. Police say it appeared he'd been skateboarding and perhaps was hit by a car, but they're still looking into that.
Highway patrols cracking down on unsafe drivers and pedestrians in Spring Valley today. They are focusing on those who fail to yield or take other unsafe actions. The CHP says that the County of San Diego has experienced a large number of accidents involving pedestrians, so officers hope that educating drivers and those who are on foot will help reduce that number. The enhanced enforcement operation will run today and Thursday at Calle Verde east of Avocado.
The city's homeless committee will discuss a new program today aimed at finding jobs for people who are in temporary housing. The pilot program would connect people in rapid rehousing programs to employment opportunities. Councilmember Chris Ward hopes it'll help 300 families find permanent jobs.
So they no longer will need that subsidized housing right now. They will no longer need vouchers. They can establish a job that will actually be able to help them afford rent.
The committee will look at the proposed program at 9 this morning.
As we continue to There we go. As we continue to look at ways to make it in San Diego, growth, of course, is always a concern. We've been hearing from a lot of you with concerns on how new projects can really affect your quality of life. Today, UC San Diego will break ground on an immense addition to the campus. And
10 News reporter Jared Aarons is live at UC San Diego. And Jared, some people are worried about traffic, but the project is also getting rid of some parking lots as well.
It is. Jason, Mary, good morning. This is one of the lots that will replace 208 here off of North Torrey Pines Road. You can see they've got their big groundbreaking set up. This new project will also replace another lot behind it. That's getting rid of 900 spaces, but they are going to add a 1,200 spot parking garage underground before they build. So the university is, as you can see, thrilled about their new North Torrey Pines campus, but not everybody who lives in the area shares that excitement. This video from the school shows the scope of the North Torrey Pines Living and Learning Project. 6 new buildings, dorms for 2,000 students, 1,200 parking spaces, dining, markets, and a new home for the schools of social sciences and arts and humanities.
You know, we really think that this neighborhood is going to be transformative and something to look forward to for everyone that visits, for sure.
It's the biggest expansion in campus history.
This intersection will be gridlock.
And that's got neighbors worried.
The community is like under construction stress.
Last fall, neighbors rallied against it, worried about more students and more cars overwhelming the neighborhood. Here's where the project's environmental impact report says traffic will be hit hardest. By 2035, rush hour wait time at North Torrey Pines and Genesee doubling to 5 minutes, and La Jolla Village and Via La Jolla Drive tripling to 3 minutes. But the report claims all that traffic is from normal growth. And the school says they're working with neighbors to reduce problems.
We've had individual meetings with different groups that are directly adjacent to the project. And we've been very inclusive and just trying to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing.
The school also plans to upgrade the intersection's traffic lights. That's led some neighbors to change their minds.
Every year, traffic and congestion seems to be a little bit more intense. I think ultimately this is going to be a positive thing.
And the groundbreaking is at 10 o'clock today. The actual construction and the demolition of this parking lot begins tomorrow morning. You can see they've got the excavator already in place. They hope to have this all finished by fall of 2020. Live at UC San Diego, Jared Aarons, 10 News.
All right, Jared, thank you very much. So it's 6:10 here, and a few clouds this morning, but it's going to be a nice one, huh?
It really is. Today is going to be, in my opinion, the best day of the week.
Nice.
We're
Okay.
starting off with clouds. They're going to clear up very nicely. Temperatures topping off cooler than normal, but warmer than this weekend. You can actually already see some holes poking through our clouds over downtown and La Mesa, indicating that the marine layer isn't as thick this morning, so it will be clearing out better and faster most areas by mid to late morning. La Mesa, your hour-by-hour forecast takes us to 72 degrees by noon, about 74 this afternoon. 60s and 70s up and down our coastline. 72 and sunny for downtown and Oceanside after these clouds clear on out of here. In fact, most of the county in the 60s and 70s from the coast to the mountains, with 90s in our deserts. But things are going to be getting much hotter as we welcome summer later this week. I'll pinpoint how hot in about 8 minutes. Kalina?
We are getting reports of a problem right now. This is out on the 125 right at the 54. So if you usually travel here, you'll see it over on the shoulder. This is a crash here right at Hamishaw. So just keep that in mind as you head out. Overall, though, on the 125 and on the 54, everything is looking like it's up to speed. Right now, the 5 freeway out of the South Bay, really our trouble spot this morning, and it's also because of the problems we have heading on into Coronado. So Coronado is accident-free, but really heavy. That's going to take you about 16 minutes to get through. And it's also adding to traffic on the 5 freeway heading northbound right now. It's about a 12 to 14-minute commute on the 5 heading northbound. We are seeing some traffic on the 805 as well. I'll have that for you coming up. Jason, Mary?
He can't inhale. Wow, he must be dead. Are you dead, sir?
An emergency room doctor banned from working at a Northern California hospital after she was caught on camera mocking and cursing at one of her patients.
And we will hear from one of our own 10 News reporters caught in the middle of that deadly earthquake in Japan.
And a grandmother recalling the moment she fought off a rabid bobcat, killing it with her bare hands.
It was an intense earthquake, and it was not a quick one either. I was panicking.
That's the voice of Team 10 investigator Jennifer Kastner, caught in the middle of a deadly earthquake in Japan. The magnitude 6.1 quake struck yesterday morning north of Osaka, caused buildings to catch fire, knocked down walls, and even caused some flooding. At least 3 people were killed and dozens were injured. Now, Jennifer, who was there on vacation, says the tremor was so strong it woke her up.
I was fully asleep, like in a dead sleep. And all of a sudden, I was jolted out of bed because the whole room was shaking. And I got up really quickly, and my heart was racing.
Jennifer's okay. The quake was far enough inland that there is no risk for tsunami there.
An ER doctor is now banned from a Northern California hospital after she was caught on camera mocking a patient, even cursing at him.
I just tried to inhale, and I even told her I could not inhale.
He can't inhale. Wow, he must be dead. Are you dead, sir? I don't understand. You are breathing just fine.
This is not.
The patient, Samuel Bardwell, says he was rushed to El Camino Hospital after collapsing during a basketball practice last week. And he says he waited more than 3 hours to be seen and told the doctor that he was feeling numb and that he was having trouble breathing.
No, you have changed your story every time.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa is right. Bardwell says he was suffering from a severe anxiety attack. The hospital has since apologized to him.
A big upset in Russia. Mexico taking down world champion Germany in their opening match of the World Cup. Hundreds of people filled the streets of LA to celebrate. Some of those festivities got a little out of hand. But police were there making sure celebrations remained peaceful. Officers dispersed crowds and pulled over drivers who ignored speed limits and traffic laws. Some drivers, though, did burnouts. They got dangerously close to partiers. 3 people were arrested, one for reckless driving, one for being drunk in public, the third for illegal fireworks. People, hey, this is the first game of the Cup for Mexico,
big
too.
Deal.
Meanwhile, in Mexico City, the celebrations were so loud and the jumping was so prolific that it detected an earthquake on the Richter scale after that goal. That was the only goal of the game, by the way. 1-0 Mexico. And yeah, sliding to a victory. What a game, and what an upset.
It was an incredible weekend for soccer. Iceland and Argentina, too.
Yeah, you love Iceland.
I do now.
There's a certain player on Iceland. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to that another time. A Georgia grandmother's recovering this morning after fighting off a bobcat with her bare hands. Dee Dee Phillips, she walked outside of her home this weekend to find the animal staring at her. She says seconds after snapping this picture, it attacked.
As soon as it took the first step, I was in trouble and I knew it. When it got to that pole, it leaped on me. I grabbed him by the shoulders and pushed him back away from me. And I took it down right here.
Oh my gosh, and you see her hands all bandaged there. The bobcat bit and broke fingers on both of Dee Dee's hands, but she managed to grab its throat and strangle it. There is the cat. Authorities later found out it was rabid, so Dee Dee will now have to get a series of shots to keep her from contracting the disease. Wow.
Wow. Video game addiction is moving from the basement sofa to the doctor's examining table today. The World Health Organization is officially adding gaming addiction to the list of their diseases. The announcement comes at a time when tech companies are looking for ways to curb consumption. Apple recently announced a new digital health feature that'll help set limits for time spent on certain apps. The gaming industry is disputing the evidence behind the WHO decision. Fortnite, that's the latest culprit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Megan, you're just lucky that for now you have dogs so that you don't have to worry about this whole screen time battle at home.
I'm always stealing the Nintendo away from them. They just like, or they're addicted. But yeah, that's very true. All right, let's show you what's going on outside. We're blanketed by clouds across most of the county as we look towards Rancho Penasquitos this morning. Those clouds keeping things really nice though. It's 65 degrees downtown, 58 in Poway, Oceanside at 62, 59 degrees in Chula Vista this morning with 40s up and down our mountains. And the cooler air, in fact, yesterday we did set a record low high temperature in Borrego Springs and in Palomar Mountain. So it was the coolest time that we've gotten yesterday as a record. So that cooler air is going to be filtering out the rest of the week as this system right here, which is bringing in the cooler air, pushes off to the east. High pressure is going to be building and it is going to be getting toasty warm. There you go. There's the cooler air pushing away from us. And look at all those reds indicating those warmer colors coming our way. Temperatures are actually going to be skyrocketing 5 to 20 degrees warmer than today by the end of the week. The first days of summer will be the warmest days of the year. We're in the mid-70s starting Wednesday along the coastline with little change into the weekend as far as temperatures go. Inland neighborhoods were in the 80s, mid-80s by Wednesday, flirting with that 90-degree mark by Thursday and Friday. So that means the warmest days of the week will be coinciding with the longest days of the year. Temperatures in our mountains, this is where the biggest jump is going to be, from the 60s to near 90 by Friday, and temperatures soaring above 110 in our deserts Thursday and Friday, likely going to see those excessive heat warnings back in effect. Kalina?
Well, we have some traffic starting to build on the 805. Here on the Caltrans camera, though, you can actually see lots of space in between the cars here, but before the 8 is where we're starting to see traffic bunching up. 10 News Live Traffic Tracker takes us out to another problem. This is a 52 heading westbound. We had an incident here earlier that's out of the way, but you can see all of the red and yellow heading all the way over to the 15. If that is your commute, you're looking at about a 16-minute ride. And then as we head to North County, quick look here, everything is very quiet. The 5 to 78, your ride in San Marcos, 1556, all up to speed. And then also looks like you're slowing down this time on the 5 freeway through National City. I'll have your drive times here coming up in just a few minutes. Mary.
All right, Kalina, thank you. A couple stuck with a big bill after their young son topples a $132,000 sculpture. This is the moment right before it happened, all caught on camera.
A local Marine's father loses everything in a house fire. How San Diegans are helping out in a big way to get his life back on track.
Skycam View, sponsored by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better.